Hello and welcome back to the channel. Before I begin, I want to say thank you to all the subscribers. Thank you for hitting those likes. Thank you for hitting those heights. And thank you for leaving your comments in the comment section. I really appreciate each and every one of you. And for those of you who just scrolled by and decided to watch the video, and often do that with Kelly Legends, ask you to subscribe. We're still trying to reach that 10,000 subscriber goal. So it'd be highly appreciated. Okay, so today's video is something a little different. It's regarding the county jail, okay? I was down on the boulevard with some homies, and a question that came up, and we had a little discussion regarding the way the youngsters are dressing and talking and acting these days, and what a huge contrast it is compared to the way we carried ourselves, you know. And basically my stance was, you know, times are changing, people change, styles come and go, and yeah, it's happening. And for the most part, you know, people aren't, at least in my crowd, weren't happy about it. They didn't like it. But like I told them, man, it's just a sign of the times, man. It's the way things are moving now, you know. It's not any less dangerous. It's not any less less active out there in the streets. But this video is not about the streets. This video is about the LA County Jail, okay, and prison. And I noticed, I think the last time I was in the county, well, I didn't notice that time. I noticed the time before because I was in a dorm. The gang module is still the same, still operates the same to me, still looks the same, smells the same. Everything that gang module was before, it still is. But the larger dorms, the dorm living has changed drastically, and the people that are there, okay? There was a guy from White Fence that had the entire floor, right? And he made a comment to me one day, and he tells me, "Hey, Lucky," he's shaking his head, right? He says, "Look what I'm working with these days." And I looked around, and there was a little group of some youngsters. They had 2 dominoes, right? And they're banging on the domino on the table, day room table, with the dominoes, and they're rapping, right? And everybody's bobbing their heads and, you know, telling the little homie that was rapping, "Get it, homie, get it," you know. It was like, I remember that back in the days, you know, but that was mostly coming from the black population in the jail. And I noticed that there was a lot of Edgars. The Edgars was already coming in, that Edgar haircut, and it was just different, man. It was a different environment, a different atmosphere, you know, and those guys carried themselves completely different. But I have to say that this dude, he actually, his right-hand man was one of these Edgar guys, but he was a big-ass fool. He was yoked up, you know. It's just that was his style, you know. And he was intelligent. He was smart. He knew how to talk to people, and he did a great job in the position that he was given there on that floor, in my eyes. Okay. Yeah, I kind of blew it during that little stay. I got in a fight, and there's no fighting in the county jail no more. You know, before it didn't matter. You could get off who you're mad at, right? Well, I'm looking for my shoes so I could jump off my bunk. I'm on the top bunk, and I'm looking for my shoes. And this dude next to me is laughing, and he's laughing and laughing. And then I caught on, and I turned him on, and I looked at him. I go, "You laughing at me?" He goes, "Where's your shoes, OG?" And I go, "What do you mean, where's my shoes? Well, where are they at?" He goes, "I don't know. You should know. My shoes were under my pillow. I would never let my shoes touch my pillow. You know what I mean? Where I lay my head." I was pissed. I just jumped off the bunk and you know, I went at him, man. Just kept hitting him till he rolled off the other side of the bunk. And of course, the guy that had the top tier came over and asked me. He goes, "Hey, what happened?" I go, "This fool disrespecting me, laughing at me and stuff." I didn't see him, but I think he put my shoes under my bed, trying to play around and stuff. I'm not playing like that. During that time, I was kicking. I don't know what I was. I think I was kicking methadone and heroin or something, but I was sick. I wasn't feeling too good. I had been there already a while. I was feeling better, but still, I was still in a bad mood. Things weren't going good for me either with as far as my case. Anyways, so of course he went down and he talked to the dude from White Fence and let him know what had happened, right? So later on, first they called the other homie down there. They talked to him or whatever. Then he asked to talk to me. I went down there to talk to him, and he goes, "Hey," he's laughing and shaking his head. He goes, "Hey, Lucky, what happened?" And I explained to him the way the situation went down and stuff. And he goes, "Well, I told the youngster if he wanted to get a run back, under the stairs with you." And I go, "Yeah, all right, that's cool." And he goes, "No, but he said no, that, he didn't want no pedo. He just want, everything just to be firme, So anyways, he goes, "Hey, Lucky, you can't be doing that, man. You put me in a bad spot, this, that, and the other." Anyways, he didn't do anything to discipline me or nothing. He just asked me respectfully, "Hey, hey, if anybody acts up with you or acts up some kind of way, let me know and I'll take care of them." Which is would be hard for me to do. Why? Because I'd feel like I'm going to go tell on the dude, "Hey, so and so's keeps fucking with me." Like, why would I go tell him? I just handle it, no? But those are the rules now. A lot has changed in the county jail. It's not like before. The people are different. You hear them talk. They talk with all that, "Hey, what's up, my nigga?" and all that shit. It's a different world to me, because I've done a lot of times I had spent in that county jail all over the county, including Wayside, Biscaloo, everywhere. Just Max, North, South, and Wayside, Supermax. It's just was something foreign to me. And I understood how he felt when he said, "Man, Lucky, things have changed in here." The crowd was different. The people were different. And these were the people you had to count on if there was a riot with the blacks, And it was really hard to, usually you could tell, somebody's healthy, kind of cut up, has some old battle scars and stuff. These were like kids, playing around, and, it was different, really different, In prison, same thing. I remember I like to listen to oldies. That's my number one choice. I listen to everything, really, classic rock, rock. I listen to Spanish music, R&B. But my go-to music is oldies. Especially when I want to kick back, relax, and reminisce, and just, in prison you do that a lot. You kick back, put the earphones on, and just close your eyes, and you're not there. Anyways, I went around the cell block in prison. This isn't in the county jail. This is in prison. I went around trying to get CDs with oldies, right? At first, I couldn't find any. And then, people would tell me, "Nah, I just got rap. Hey, homie has some oldies." I'd go and get a CD from them. And it would be these underground oldies. Oldies that I'd never heard of, maybe one oldie on the whole CD. So they do nothing for me. They didn't bring back memories. They didn't take me out of my head. So finally, I found older homies. That had the kind of oldies I like to listen to, you know. But there was only a few. Most of the time, you go by a homie's cell, it was playing rap music, you know. It was different, you know. They kind of represented the same, you know. They carried themselves the same. A lot of them came from YA. A lot of them had done time before. Well, it was a 3-yard, so, you know, they already were a little seasoned, if not well seasoned, coming down from the 4 down to the 3. Nevertheless, it still was different, you know. And it's just a sign of the times, man. Things are changing. People are changing. Taste in music and all that changes, you know. Yeah, even the way people dress, you know. The old street clothes that we used for the streets back in the days are being used for the lowriding scene. You know, you see a lot of lowriders who aren't even from gangs, you know, but still they like Pendletons, they like thongos, they like baggy pants with the pleats, you know. They just like the style, you know, and it's become more of a lowrider style than streetwear, you know, street clothes. Anyways, I just wanted to do this video because of the discussion we had down on the boulevard regarding the change of attitudes, change of dress, change of the way things are done even. You know, everything's changing. And for an older dude like me, some things are hard to accept and have been hard to accept, you know. But really, you know, it's going to be the way it's going to be, you know. There's nothing you can do. There was no stopping us, and there'll be no stopping them. What they like, they're going to like, you know. Yeah, and they're going to do their thing, you know. Basically, that was what the only point I was trying to make to the homies was that nothing's going to change. They're going to do what they're going to do, you know. Our thing was when were doing our thing. They're doing their thing now, you know. And yeah, the last time I was in the county, it was a trip. You couldn't even go to the security gate, you know, the gates or the bars in the front, not even to ask for toilet paper, to put in a medical slip to go to the doctor or something. They had one guy that was trusted. You'd give him your paperwork or whatever you needed to send out, and he'd check it out and take it to the officer or drop it in the box or wherever it needed to go up on the front security gate. You know, you couldn't go up there. And yeah, just everything was like running different, you know. I liked it the way it was before. You had to sit down to piss, you know. Imagine being a grown man and having somebody tell you, you know, standing up pissing is a violation. You know, you're disrespecting other people that need to use the toilet, you know. But it helps with hygiene and stuff. It's more clean. I could see it. It's just hard to swallow. It's hard to accept, you know. And I think people of all colors struggle with living around homies that are like that, you know, that you have to sit down to piss. You know, I'm sure it caused a lot of confrontations, a lot of arguments, and a lot of discord, you know. But, you know, things have changed, you know. At a certain time of the night, one of the homies would come out in the middle of the day room and say buenas noches and this and that, and keep it down to a whisper. And yeah, it was different, you know. Before it was more like the Wild Wild West, you know. You did what you can do, and just do your thing, you know. Just as long as you didn't disrespect the household, you know. You want to take somebody's stuff, or you want to have somebody move from their bunk and go to another bunk, you know. Whatever you can do, you were able to do, you know. But now it's like, you know, way different. The one that got me was having to hold my mud and take some crap from a younger dude wet behind the ears, that wants to play games with me and doesn't even know me, It could have been worse, Good thing dude from White Fence, he kind of tripped on me, we were good with each other, you know. Every day, he'd call me over and we'd kick it. He had so much stories, give me candies and, all them zoom zooms and wham whams he had under his bunk. Or if he made a spread, he'd give me a burrito, tell me to sit down and eat, and we'd cut it up. A lot of people I knew. I know a lot of people he knew, so I could say I got away with that one, because it could have been bad, Anyways, it is what it is, times are changing, and either you change with the times or you get left behind. Anyways, people, thanks for watching my video. I really appreciate it. Let me know what you guys think. Let me see if any of you have been anywhere lately. Was it different than what I'm describing now, or is it the same, or is it worse? I could only imagine. Anyways, thank you for watching. God bless you. God bless your family. Stay free, people. Stay out from behind them bars, and so you don't end up in places like that, And yeah, it's nothing like being free, man, and doing your own thing, how you want to do it, when you want to do it, the way you want to do it. Stay free, people. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much.